guys, so my name is Nethmi. I'm a student of Niwasa Institute Abhiman Sir's English Medium Science class. So today I'm here to explain Unit 1, Wonders of the Living World. Our first topic is what is the environment? The environment is a surrounding including us. It consists of land, water bodies, air, animals and plants. The components of the environment can be divided into two main parts. They are living things and non-living things. Components with a growth are called living things. Components without a growth are called non-living things. Now we are going to talk about living things. Living things can be categorized into three main parts: microorganisms, plants and animals. Now let's talk about microorganisms. Microorganisms are some organisms that cannot be observed with our naked eye. Examples for some microorganisms are Chlamydomonas, amoeba, paramecium, euglena and bacteria. You know that we use a special instrument called a compound light microscope to observe these microorganisms because we cannot observe microorganisms with our naked eye. Now let's talk about plants. Plants can be divided into three main parts based on morphological features, based on the living environment, based on the nature. Based on the nature, we can categorize into some parts as well: trees, shrubs, creepers and plants. Based on morphological features, roots, stem, leaves, trunk, fruits, nuts, seeds and flowers. Based on the living environment, aquatic, terrestrial, coastal and mangrove. After the topic plants, now let's talk about another important thing in our nature. It is animals. Animals' diversity can be divided into five main parts: based on the nature, based on the mode of locomotion, based on external characteristics, based on the type of food and based on the food mechanism. Now let's discuss those topics one by one. Based on the mode of locomotion: jumping, creeping, crawling and swimming. Based on the nature: terrestrial, aquatic and air. Based on external characteristics: color, shape and appendages. Based on the type of food: herbivorous, omnivorous and carnivorous. Based on the food mechanism: chewing and swallowing, swallowing without chewing, chewing and sucking. Now let's move on to a different topic. Now we are going to discuss about characteristics of organisms. We can divide characteristics of organisms according to five main parts: growth, nutrition, movement, respiration and reproduction. Let's talk about growth. Growth is the increase in size, height or amount. Examples for growth is puppy becomes a dog, kitten becomes a cat, chick becomes a chicken. And now let's talk about nutrition. Satisfying the food requirements of organisms is called nutrition. Nutrition can be divided into two main parts: autotrophic and heterotrophic. Now a subtitle is autotrophic. Autotrophic are the organisms which produce food within themselves. For this process, they are using a special process called photosynthesis. Using carbon dioxide from the air, soil, water and sunlight to produce food is known as photosynthesis. Chlamydomonas, some green plants and some bacteria also do the process of photosynthesis. Now, our subtitle is heterotrophics. The organisms which cannot produce their own food are known as heterotrophic organisms. Some heterotrophic organisms are dog, cat, deer, cow, cheetah, rabbit. Those are the heterotrophic organisms. Heterotrophic organisms are depending on plants directly or indirectly. Directly are some organisms that are depending on plants directly are cow, goat and deer. Indirectly are cheetah, dog and cat and tiger. Now let's talk about movement. Moving from one place to another place is called locomotion. There are some special appendages for animals to locomote. Fish, fins, snakes, scales, humans, legs, horses, legs. Some animals cannot locomote, but they show different movements. They are sea anemone, coral polyp. Plants also shows different movements. Plants show sleeping movements. When the mimosa plant is touched, the leaves of the mimosa plant show sleeping movements. Albizia, sesbania and tamarind leaves also show sleeping movements in the evening. And another example is plants bending towards sunlight. Let's talk about respiration. Taking air into the body is known as inhale or inspiration, and releasing air out is known as exhale or expiration. Oxygen in the air once breathed in reacts with the food stored in our body and produces energy. This process is known as respiration. In this process of respiration, oxygen is used and carbon dioxide is released. Oxygen needed to breathe is taken into the body and the produced carbon dioxide is released by breathing. The chest moves up and down because of the movements of respiration, and these movements are called respiratory movements. Plants too breathe, but they do not show respiratory movements. Now we have come to the most interesting part of this lesson explanation. We are going to do an experiment. The experiment is we are going to find out whether exhaled air contains of carbon dioxide. For this experiment you will need a straw, a test tube and some colorless lime water. Make sure that you take some colorless lime water with exactly no color at all. And the method to do this experiment is take the test tube and put some colorless lime water. Then we need to insert the straw into the colorless lime water and exhale the carbon dioxide. As the observation, you can see the colorless lime water which didn't have any color turned into off-white or milky white. And as the conclusion, we can say that exhaled air contains of carbon dioxide. Now we have come to the last topic of characteristics of organisms. That is reproduction. What is reproduction? A mature living being producing new members of the same species is called reproduction. Examples for reproduction is germination of a seed, dog giving birth to a puppy, a mother giving birth to a baby, a chicken giving birth to a chick, a cat giving birth to a kitten. Now let's talk about the differences between plants and animals. First one is plants grow fixed to the ground. They cannot locomote but they show movements. Animals can show both locomotion and movements. And again plants produce their own food within themselves by the process of photosynthesis. Hence they are autotrophic. Animals do not make their own food within themselves. They are depending on other plants and animals. Hence they are heterotrophic. Plants have chlorophyll within their cells and animals do not have chlorophyll within their cells. In plants, growth is visible during the entire lifespan, thus the growth of plants is unlimited. And animals, growth of visibility stops after a certain period of time, so the growth of animals is unlimited. The last topic of this entire lesson is dichotomous. Categorization of organisms using the presence or absence of the external characteristics is called dichotomous. And for today I am going to stop this lesson explanation, and I hope to see you all in another video of Guru Niwasa Institute Science lesson explanations.